Hello, everybody. So welcome to the Student Loan Services Coaching Community. I'm so pleased to announce that Bruce Politano is here with me today so that I can interview him. I've heard a lot of things about Bruce Politano, and I have a lot of great things to say about him. I even have his book. Where is it? I'm going to tell you. Right here, this one, Understanding Credit
Nice.
Repair and the World Around It. Yes. So I wanted to ask you, Bruce, how did you get into credit repair? Give me a little bit of background knowledge.
Yeah, so before I got into the financial industry as a whole, I used to own a pool cleaning business. So I used to clean swimming pools. Um, then I got hurt. I hurt my back really bad, and I couldn't do that labor anymore. So I had to find an office job, and I ended up getting a job at a law firm that used to litigate debt for their clients. It was pretty much a debt relief law firm is what it was, and part of the services that they offer their clients, along with the debt relief, they also had a credit repair program because, when it comes to the debt relief portion, sometimes you settle debts, sometimes you have to stop paying on your debts before you can settle them. So that would completely jack up all their clients' credit. So their way to clean it up was by also offering them credit repair once their debts were resolved by the law firm. And that's how I got into the industry as a whole. And I started my own credit repair company as soon as I left this company, this law firm that I worked for. And I left the law firm because I learned that they were just scamming all of their clients. And when I mean scamming, I mean they were taking money from people and not doing any work whatsoever. And I just wasn't cool with that. My position at the company before I left was I was responsible for hiring and training every single employee that came through that company. So every day I was hiring and training people on scamming people. And I wasn't okay with that. So, couldn't sleep at night. And I just one day quit and I said, I can't do this anymore, and decided to start my own credit repair company. I found myself really passionate about the credit repair aspect of the services that the law firm offered versus the debt relief part of it. So I got into, opening my own credit repair business. This was back in 2013. And that's how I jumped into it. I started my own credit repair company in 2013.
Oh, nice. And then that took off and you became successful there. And then what happened? Because didn't you start your own like student loan services company?
Yeah. So what ended up happening was I started my credit repair company in 2013, and I grew that company within the next couple of years. So it was a decent sized company. We were making decent amount of revenue, and what we started noticing is that a lot of our clients started asking us, what could we do to help them with their student loans? And at the time, I mean, all we could tell them is, I mean, we can try to dispute it and see if we can potentially try to get off your credit report, but that's as far as all we can do. And we started getting that question so often that I decided to do some research and see if there was anything else out there, that could be done. And that's where I learned about all of the programs that the Department of Education actually offers to federal student loan borrowers. And, I dove in, I learned about the programs. I spoke a lot with the loan servicers to learn about how they work and how to get them done. And then we decided to start offering that as an add-on service to our credit repair company. So every single client that, every single credit report that we saw that had student loans on there, whether they were positive or negative, we offered them the student loan services as far as consolidating the student loans, lowering their monthly payments with different income-driven plans, different forgiveness programs that they qualified for. And we just put that as an add-on to the credit repair company. And I very quickly learned that this was such a great service and so easy to offer to the clients that I just started to think, what, maybe I might just want to, do this all the time instead of credit repair. My credit repair company was pretty large. I mean, we had a couple thousand active clients, and I decided to just sell that company and focus on student loans full time. And that's what I did. I sold my old credit repair business and decided to focus fully on student loan relief to people who need help with their student loan debt. That's how I got into the student loan space.
And going back to the law firm, what is your opinion about the CFPB coming after Lexington Law? What is your opinion on Lexington Law, first of all?
Well, Here's the thing, right? There's a right way to do things. There's a wrong way to do things. Okay. In my opinion, walking the gray line is wrong. It's you're either white or black. You're in gray in the middle, then that means that some part of what you're doing must be shady, you know. And the CFPB or any regulator, they cannot go after you unless you are doing something wrong, right? There's laws that govern our industry. So just abide by those laws. And it's not that the CFPB and the FTC and all these regulators only go after these huge companies. No, they go after whatever company is violating the law, right? So huge companies probably have a bigger chance of violating the law because they have a lot more going on than a mom and pop shop, right? So I don't think that if they're coming after you, it's because you gave them a reason to. That's my thought of it.
Right.
That's my thought about it.
And here's another question for you. So when you were doing credit repair, were you charging them a monthly fee or were you charging per disputed item that was removed?
So my first year, we did a monthly fee because that's, when I did research about starting my own credit repair company and all the websites that I looked at, that's how everybody charged. They charge their audit fee or their enrollment fee and then a steady ongoing monthly fee. So that's how we did it for the first year. And then after attending a couple events, I learned about the pay-per-delete model and I've converted and never looked back ever since. Right. And just a side parentheses here, after selling my credit repair company, I ended up opening a new company again. So to this day, we're doing credit repair and it's still on a paper delete model. And the reason why I'm a big advocate for paper delete isn't for compliance reasons. It's just because we make a lot more money on a paper delete than we ever did on a monthly. What I'm going to say is that the paper delete does not work for every company. The companies that fail at paper delete, in my opinion, are the ones who are doing a lot of online advertisement, right? Facebook ads, different events where you're getting like a mass amount of leads. Paper delete, in my opinion, doesn't work for those companies. And the reason why is the type of client that you're attracting via those marketing efforts aren't clients that are going to pay you, a $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 invoice within 30 days or 60 days. Right? My credit repair company, the old one that I sold and the one that I operate today, has always been 100% affiliate based. So all of our leads are referred to us by either a loan officer or a real estate agent. What that means is that lead has a steady job. They have money saved in the bank. Like they're ready to buy a house. The only piece that's missing is their credit score. Right? So that person has the money. They're more serious about fixing their credit than the person that's bored scrolling through Facebook and downloads a free ebook. You know what I mean? So for that reason, I depending on what type of marketing you do, the pay per delete could work or it could be a disaster.
So it's people that are more motivated because they're going to be buying houses. That makes a lot of sense.
Correct.
And then for student loan services, and then here's another question. So you also offer, and I don't know if everybody knows this, but you also offer outsourcing for credit repair businesses. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah. So the way that started is I started getting really well known in the industry and I started being asked to be a speaker at a lot of the credit repair events that was being held around the country. And I kind of created that reputation where people trusted me and they knew that, we did things the right way. We were experts in disputing and knowing how to, properly do credit repair. And that's where we started our outsourcing company because I really wanted to help the new guys, the people who are just really, trying to get their credit repair company started going and with good results. So that's why I started my outsourcing companies because I didn't want people to be discouraged in being in the credit repair industry because they didn't know how to dispute items yet. Right. So we started our outsourcing company back in 2016. And as of today, we have 419 credit repair companies outsourcing with us. Wow. So we're doing about 15,000 files per month as of right now.
Now, where do you take them like from beginning, like say, like where does it start? Do you take them from beginning to like end, like dispute letters? You do all the disputes for them?
Yeah. So our primary service that we offer is we're a full credit repair outsourcing service provider. But our primary service that we offer is the processing of the dispute letters, right? That's where all you have to do is sign up your client, onboard them into your software, collect their ID documents and their credit monitoring login information. It ends there. My team does the rest. We log into the software, we load all the negative items into the software, we prepare the disputes, we print them, we mail them, and we update the results at the end of every month, right? Or at the end of every round. And then rinse and repeat. So that's our processing. After a couple of years of doing just the processing, we decided to add on customer service. So with our customer service, that's where we answer every single inbound call that comes into your company, right? So if your client calls, they're gonna, we're gonna be the ones handling your customer service. We make monthly outbound calls to all your clients to give them an update on their program. We keep them informed. We handle your billing. So if clients' payments are failing or they need to be collected or rescheduled, or if you're on a pay per delete model and they need to be, we handle the billing for the credit repair companies. And we also handle sales. So that's where we're at. We're at that point today where we're able to have, literally full on services to any credit repair company.
And what is the, so how can, because I've had a lot of, there are a lot of credit business owners that are asking me about outsourcing. So where can they go to get that information?
They can go on our website. It's a disputesforme.com, and for is spelled FOR. So disputesforme.com. And there's, information right there on the website. There's a learn more button. If you click on the learn more button, it's going to ask you for your name, your email, and your phone number, and it will redirect you to another page that has a video. It's a short video. It's about a 5-minute video where I'm personally explaining how our outsourcing services work. On that page, there's a few FAQs that answers, most questions that people have. And there's also a consultation button. So for any reason, after watching the video, reading the FAQs, the person still has any questions or would like to speak with one of our team members, they can just schedule a call as well.
Mm-hmm. And I think that the more people they send your way, the cost is less, from what I recall.
Correct. It's not necessarily how many clients you have. It's how many rounds you're buying. So we work on a credit system, right? So it's kind of like when you go to the arcade, you want to play a game, you got to buy tokens. Some games are 2 tokens, some games are 4 tokens. So we call them credits, right? And the way that it works is you purchase the credits from us up front, and your credits are used as your clients are processed. So depending on how many credits you buy, you'll get them at a certain cost, right? So the most that you ever pay for a credit is $20, and you can get them as cheap as $10 if you're buying in enough bulk. And one credit covers one client's round of disputes to all 3 credit bureaus. So you're spending 1 credit per client per month. You're not spending 1 credit per item being disputed. You're not spending 1 credit per bureau. It's a flat 1 credit, which covers all negative items being disputed with all 3 credit bureaus.
Okay, very nice. And then for student loans, how do you feel about, there's been this campaign out there for the presidential candidates to cancel student loans. Mm-hmm. Have you heard about this? It was all over Facebook too.
Yeah, yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's actually ever going to happen?
Never going to happen. It will never happen. I can see maybe some more forgiveness programs, more accessible for more people being, created. But as far as just eliminating people's student loan debts, that's never going to happen. There's no way for that to happen. Right. In my opinion, there just isn't. There's just so much help out there already that's not even necessary, mm-hmm. in my opinion, because there's so many other programs that people can get into that they don't know exist, right. And they almost demand and feel like they need to just get their student loans forgiven. It's like, no, you made a conscious choice to take out loans to get an education. Mm-hmm. You can't, even if it's fair or not fair, it's just, in my opinion, there's no way of the government making that happen. Like, there just isn't.
Well, I think that they were trying to say, well, that could help the economy, because then we won't be in so much debt, and it will help the build up the economy. So that was what they were trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, you can slice it and dice it however you want. There's pros and cons to that. You know what I mean? The U.S. Department of Education is a government agency. So the money that they get, it helps run the country as well. you
Right.
know, but then you have all these people with all these student loan debt that they can't buy a house, which, you know, buying homes also helps the country run. So it doesn't matter which way you look at it. There's pros and cons to both options.
Let's talk about that. I have a lot to ask about that. So a lot of
Sure.
people don't know that your student loans, that they take a percentage of that. I think it's one, I forget if it's 1% or whatever. So they'll take that percentage that you still owe and
Mhm.
calculate that into a potential mortgage you could have if you want to buy a house, right?
Correct. So the way that that works is I'm actually a licensed loan officer in Florida, so I know
Oh,
exactly how
okay.
that
You
works.
know all about this.
Yeah. So depending on the type of loan that you're going with, right? You can go an FHA loan or a conventional loan. They will take 1% of your student loan balance
Mhm.
towards your debt to income ratio, right? Your debt to income ratio is how much money do you pay out towards monthly debts that report on your credit report every month in comparison to how much money you bring in as income, right? So if I make $10,000 a month and I have a total of $4,000 going out to my new mortgage, my car payments, my student loans, my credit cards, then I have a 40% debt to income ratio, right? Debt to income ratio doesn't affect the credit score because income doesn't affect credit score. What affects the credit score is your utilization ratio, which is not your debt to income ratio, right? So the 1% of your student loan balance gets added to the monthly payments that go out to your debt to income ratio calculation. So that's how that works. However, if you have a monthly payment listed on the credit report, they will take the monthly payment. So if your student loans are in forbearance or in deferment, or you have a $0 payment on your student loans, they will take the 1% towards your debt to income ratio. However, if on the credit report you have a monthly payment reporting of $20 or $100 or whatever your minimum monthly payment is, then they will go with that versus the 1% of the loan balance.
Mm-hmm. And then the other thing is, if you're in the middle of loan forgiveness,
Mm-hmm.
they're still going to be taking that 1%, right?
Not if you're depending on the program that you're under. So some programs they will take the 1%, and it's
Mhm.
also going to depend on the mortgage company, right? I've seen it where a person on an income-driven repayment plan, which is a forgiveness program that has a monthly payment of, let's say, higher than zero,
Mhm.
they count the monthly payment,
Mhm.
right? Now, I've also seen it where a person on an income-driven repayment plan with a $0 payment, they take the 1%
Right.
because it's a $0 payment reporting on the credit report.
Mhm.
So that's why the 1% is taken.
Okay. So if they go through loan forgiveness, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been forgiven,
Mm-hmm.
are they still going to take the 1% of the? Probably not, right?
Not if the loan has already been forgiven. No.
Okay. Okay. Good to know. Um, So can you explain a little bit about, because here's a dilemma I've seen amongst many teachers because I'm a teacher myself. A lot of teachers they know about the teacher loan forgiveness, and that only covers what, $17,500, correct? And they have to work in a Title
Depending.
I school.
Correct. And they
Okay,
have to be work for at least 5 years, and
5 years.
must teach either secondary or math or science in the elementary level.
Right. And then, so they think that's the only loan forgiveness I can get. Not true.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
Not
also
true.
public service loan forgiveness. Can you explain a little bit
Correct.
more about that?
Sure. So public service loan forgiveness is a forgiveness program that is designed for any person that has a public servant job or works for a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So to dummy it down, if you work for the local, state or government agency, or for a nonprofit, you qualify for what's called public service loan forgiveness. So firefighters, police officers, mail carriers, nurses, teachers, anyone that has a public job that is paid by the government or the state government or the federal government or the local government, you're a public servant, right? If you work for 501c3, it could be a hospital, right? It can be any other nonprofit organization that's a 501c3. You also qualify for what's called public service loan forgiveness. And the way public service loan forgiveness works is very simple. You have to make 120 qualifying payments while working for a qualifying employer and any unpaid balance, once you've made those payments, gets forgiven by the Department of Education. So this is what that looks like. 120 qualifying payments. What is a qualifying payment? A qualifying payment is a on-time payment made under an income-driven repayment plan. So they have to be enrolled in an income-driven repayment plan to get public service loan forgiveness. The 120 payments that are made have to be payments under the income-driven plan and on time. That's the first thing. 120 qualifying payments while working for a qualifying employer. So again, a qualifying employer is going to be the local, state, government, federal agency, or a nonprofit. You have to work full time, at least 30 hours a week for your employer. Okay. Now, the beautiful thing about the public service loan forgiveness is that those 120 payments, they don't have to be consecutively made. So I'm a firefighter, okay? And I work 40 hours a week for the fire department here in my city. I'm enrolled in an income-driven repayment plan, and I made 2 years worth of payments. So I made 48, right? 2 years worth of payments, 48 payments out of the 120 payments that I need before I get my loans forgiven, right? But then, you know, in the third year, I decide that, you know what? I don't want to be a firefighter anymore, and I want to start my own business. And I decide to open up a credit repair company, okay? I'm still enrolled in an income-driven repayment plan to pay back my student loans. I'm still making my payments on time, but I'm no longer working for my qualifying employer. So for the next 3 years, I do that, right? I run my own credit repair company. So now I have a total of 5 years worth of payments, right? 2 years while I was a firefighter, 3 years while I own my credit repair company. So 60 out of the 120 payments that I have to make, but only 48 of them count towards the public service loan forgiveness because that's the ones that I was banking while I was a firefighter. Year 7 or year 6, I decided to be a firefighter again. All the payments that I make start counting again towards the public service loan forgiveness. So 120 payments is 120 months, which is 10 years. So let's say you just stay steady at your full-time job for the qualifying employer and you make those 120 payments. Any unpaid balance on your loans after those payments have been made will get forgiven. So maybe you owe, you know, you're a doctor and you get out of school and you owe, you know, $300,000 worth of student loan debt. And, you know, you work 10 years for a hospital or a nonprofit full time. And based on your income and your family size, you paid back $100,000 out of the 300 grand. So that $200,000 that's left over will get 100% forgiven by the Department of Education, and you will not have to report that forgiven amount as taxable income to the IRS because it was forgiven under the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program.
Right. And then I have a couple, I know all about the loan forgiveness because I was a substitute for a while and I was working more than 30 hours because there's a lot of substitute teachers out there that think that they cannot qualify for the public service loan forgiveness. Well, if you're working 30 hours or more, yes, you can. I was a substitute for a while. Then I went back to school. So I had to pause it. I had a baby. Then I went back and I became a professor at a university. So I was still, you know, I'm still able to do that as well, loan forgiveness. So I had like 6 years and I paused a few years, right? And now I'm reapplying again. So I'm going back to it again. So I think I have 4 more years to go and I owe a lot of money. I don't want to know how much money I owe. Like in the middle of my doctorate degree. And another thing, my school shut down. So I know you talked about that in your course, right? If the school shuts down, so my school shut down halfway when I was halfway through my doctorate degree and the university shut down, right? So I know that there's a form that you can fill out where you're not going to owe that money back. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that don't know this, right? Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so for the school, it's called a school closure discharge. Any loans that you took out to attend classes at a school that shut down before you graduated, okay? And if you did not complete a similar program somewhere else and your credits are non-transferable, you can qualify for the school closure discharge. However, if you graduated and the school shut down, you don't qualify. If you enrolled at a different school to keep going, you don't qualify, right? So to qualify, you have to make sure that you're literally dead in the water, right? Like, man, I was going to school. I wanted to be a whatever. And then my school shut down and I gave up on my education. That's who that is for. Now your school shut down and you can get your credits transferred from that school to somewhere else, you also don't qualify because everything that you did there counts because you're transferring those credits, right? So the credits are non-transferable. The school shut down and you did not graduate. That's what that school closure discharge is for.
Okay, and going back to the public service loan forgiveness, I am hearing from so many teachers that think that it's a scam. They don't believe that it's true. They think it's a scam. And then they read articles that say that 99% of people that apply for it
Are denied.
are denied. So what do
Yep.
you have to say to them about that?
The reason they're denied is because they did not do something that the 1% of people who were approved did. And that is properly recertify every year, right? So what happens is you have to make the Department of Education aware that you are in this program and that you still qualify for it every single year. What's happening is people are applying for it, and then 10 years later, after they made the 120 payments, but not once do they tell the Department of Education that, hey, I want to be in this program, and every year I'm working for this employer. Here's how many hours I work. Here's my public service loan forgiveness certification form. And now they expect the Department of Education to track 10 years worth of history in your life and approve your loans to be forgiven. That's why they're being denied, because they're missing documentation and their applications are not being properly processed. The people who properly process their applications and submitted their documents in a timely manner every single year, those are the ones getting approved. And that's why it's so important to know what you're doing and hire a professional.
Right. So they really need to like renew. It's kind of like they have to recertify, renew everything again every year.
We recommend every year because it's a lot easier for you to track 12 months worth of history than 24 months or 48 months worth of history. In an income-driven repayment plan, you have to recertify every 12 months. Every 12 months, you got to tell the Department of Education, here's my income, here's my family size, what's my payment going to be for the next 12 months based on my current income and family size, right? So anyone in public service loan forgiveness has to be in an income-driven repayment plan. You have to recertify your income-driven repayment plan every 12 months. Why not also just submit the public service loan forgiveness application with it every 12 months and keep it intact?
And talking about IDR, right? Income-driven repayment program, right? I had a teacher who told me that she tried to do it on her own, right? And then she put her husband's income in there. And then she was paying $10 a month before I guess she had done it before without the husband's income. Then she did it again the next year and mistakenly put the husband's income in. And then she was going to have to pay $300 a month. And I said, wait a minute, there's a way to do that so you don't have to put the husband's income in there.
Correct. So on the income-driven repayment plan application, there's a section that asks, can you reasonably access your spouse's income? Okay. And then you can say yes or no. If you say yes, then your spouse's income will be counted with your income to calculate your monthly payment. If you say no, then only the applicant's income is taken to calculate the payment. And I'm a strong believer that if the Department of Education wanted to force the entire household income to be calculated, that wouldn't be an option on the application, right? Maybe your husband has his own student loans to take care of, right? Maybe you and your husband don't share a bank account. You know what I mean? So that's why that's there. So when I ask my clients, like, do you have access to your spouse's income to help pay your student loans? If they say yes, then we use the spouse's income as well. If they say no, it's only my income to pay my student loans, then we say, no, you don't have access to the spouse's income.
Right. And I think a lot of people that are applying for this loan forgiveness, they don't know that. So they mistakenly put in their spouse's income and then they wonder, well, why didn't I qualify for $0 a month?
Correct. These applications, they're the easiest thing in the world to fill out. It's not rocket science, right? It's very easy. So when a professional is doing it, you're not paying them because they know how to fill out an application. You're paying them because of their knowledge on how to fill out the application. You can follow your own taxes. You can go on the IRS website, you can read all the tax code and the laws and figure out how to file your taxes yourself. Or like most people, I mean, I pay an accountant or a CPA or a tax professional to file my taxes for me, even though I can do it myself. But you know what? They know how to do it better. You know, when it comes to my taxes, I want it done the best way. When it comes to dealing with my student loans, I want it done the best way. Someone who does this for a living, day in and day out. Someone who puts food on their table by doing this day in and day out. I trust them more than myself.
Right. And what about the people that have defaulted student loans? you talked about a rehab program that they have to do.
Yep. So when loans go into default, it's because you missed 9 months worth of payments. Really, the technical term is 270 days past due. So once you go 270 days past due, or 9 months, your loan goes into default status. And at that point, what happens is the Department of Education actually assigns the loans to a collection agency. So now your loan is being serviced by a collection agency. And that collection agency has the ability to garnish 15 to 25% of the borrower's wages in order to pay off the student loans. Doesn't stop there. They also have the ability to offset the person's income tax refund. So if you're one of those people that when you file your taxes, you have a refund coming, to you every year, one day, hopefully I'll have that. That money gets taken away from you and applied directly to your student loans. So that $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 tax refund that you get every year, every year moving forward is going to go towards your student loan debt. You're not going to get a penny of it, right? That's what happens when your student loans are in default. So there's two ways to get a student loan out of default. One way is by consolidating the loans. As long as the defaulted loan is not already consolidated and there's no active wage garnishment, you can consolidate the loan and that will take it out of default. The other option is if your loans are already consolidated or your wages are already being garnished, or you just prefer this program instead, you can go through what's called a rehab program. The rehab program is a repayment program that's set up directly with the collection agency where you have to make 9 on-time payments to the collection agency to prove that you're able to make monthly payments on your loans again. The monthly payment is calculated based off of 3 things: the person's income, their family size, and their living expenses. So the payment can be as low as $5 a month. What that looks like is if you make $4,000 a month and all your bills for you to survive every month are, $3,800, you have a really good chance of getting a $5 payment. Now you make $4,000 a month and you only need $1,000 to survive, you're not going to get a $5 payment, right? So it's calculated based on income, family size, and living expenses. Once you have your monthly payment set, you have to make 9 payments on time to the collection agency, assuming that you get a $5 payment. You cannot make one payment of $45 and say this is a $5 payment for the 9 months, because that's not the point of the program. The point of the program is to prove that you can make on-time payments every single month. Whether it's $5 or $500, the Department of Education wants to see that you're capable and responsible to make monthly payments on time again, right? So once you finish making the 9 monthly payments, the loan is taken out of default status. It's taken away from the collection agency and reassigned back to your servicer, whether it's Fed Loans or Navient or Nelnet or Great Lakes, Sallie Mae, whoever. It goes back to them. Any derogatory credit reporting caused by the default status of the loan is removed from the credit report, and collection costs and fees are also waived from the loan once you go through a rehab program. So that's a way to get student loans out of default.
And then going back to the income-driven repayment program, isn't it true that you have to have your loans consolidated? If you, there's a lot of teachers that have multiple student loans. Don't they need to be consolidated first before they can do
They do not.
No?
They do not. So a consolidation is not required to be in an income-driven repayment plan, okay? The reason why it's recommended is because some people have multiple servicers. Some people may have some of their loans with Navient and some of their loans with Great Lakes. In that case, they would have to have an income-driven repayment plan with Navient and then a different income-driven repayment plan with Great Lakes, right? So the reason why consolidating is better is because all your loans will be together as one loan with one servicer, and it's just one plan that you're under, not one plan per servicer.
Right.
But if you have 10 loans and all your loans are with Navient, you don't need to consolidate them to get an income-driven repayment plan.
Okay. What about do you need them consolidated for public service loan forgiveness, or it doesn't matter?
You do not. However, here's what I'll say. The only time that I do not recommend consolidating is if the person is already enrolled in public service loan forgiveness with their current loans. So let's say you have 5 loans, right? They're not consolidated. They're 5 individual separate loans. You're in the income-driven repayment plan. You're in a public service loan forgiveness program. You've been in it for 3 years, right? Then you decide you want to consolidate the loan. Well, guess what? The 5 loans that you have now that have been enrolled in this program for the last 3 years will no longer exist. All of those loans will be paid in full through the consolidation, and you're going to have one brand new loan opened up. in a total amount of the 5 loans that you had before. That's what the consolidation is. So the public service loan forgiveness program that you're in was for those 5 loans, not the brand new loan that you just opened. You'd have to start back up at 0 again on the public service loan forgiveness if you were to do that. So that's the only time we don't recommend a consolidation, is if the person was already enrolled in public service loan forgiveness before, unless they're willing to lose the payments that they've already made.
Mm-hmm. But isn't it better to get them consolidated for like your credits? Because then it wipes out all the other loans, right?
It could be. It could be. Sometimes it doesn't really make any difference score-wise, but on a lending decision, it's always better to have a consolidated loan, because from a lending perspective, would you rather lend money to someone who owes 5 other people money or 1 other person money?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if a lender looks at your credit report and they see 5 different loans with 5 different balances with 5 different payments, they're going to look at you one way, as opposed to 1 loan, 1 balance, 1 payment.
Right.
That's why the consolidation is beneficial to the credit overall.
Okay. So let's talk about your student loan services course that you offer, because I've gotten a lot of people asking me about the student loan services course that you offer, and it is great. It's very detailed. I took it myself, and you go over everything with a fine-tooth comb, that's for sure. So can you talk about that and where they can find it and what the cost is?
Sure. So the course is something that I created because before I had the course, we had an affiliate program where, just like you have, credit monitoring affiliates, right? You use your Identity IQ or Smart Credit or whatever. We created an affiliate program for student loan services where credit repair companies were able to refer their clients who needed help with their student loans over to our student loan company. And in turn, we would pay them out a referral fee. I believe it was $100, right? So for every client that you sent us, we sent you $100. That was our affiliate program. And we got more business than we knew what to do with. We could not handle all the referrals that we were getting, right? So I was like, I got to do something. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to teach people how to do this themselves. That way they can choose to keep it in-house, monetize it themselves and do it themselves, or they can choose to continue referring them out. But definitely by coming out with the scores, I'm going to reduce the amount of leads that I'm getting in. So that was the idea of the course in the first place, was to reduce the number of referrals that we were getting. And, little did I know that it would be this huge thing that it is today. The course is a 3.5-hour video course where I personally sit there and I teach you everything they need to know about the industry, everything they need to know about the services, what they are, how they work, who they're for, and how to perform those services, how to provide the service, how to submit the applications, how to fill them out, what documents do you need. Literally, step by step, I hold your hand through the entire process. By the time you finish the course, there's no way you cannot offer these services yourself. It doesn't end there. The course always also comes with an 82-page training manual. That is the entire 3.5-hour video course, but in a written manual format where you can, flip a page and, I want to consolidate a loan. Here's the step-by-step instructions in a manual with screenshots and arrows telling you where to click, what to type, exactly how to do everything. I provide you with a sales script that we use. I provide you with a customer service script and processing flow charts. I mean, there's so many resources in there that it's literally a business in a box, honestly. Mm-hmm. With the scores, you will for sure be able to offer the services yourself. You can find the course on our website. It's studentloancompanion.com/course. You have to make sure to put the /course at the end of the studentloancompanion.com website. The reason why is studentloancompanion.com is our student loan website for consumers, where our clients who need help with their student loans come to, get more information about our services. You don't need help with your student loans. You want the course to learn how to offer the services. So you're going to go to studentloancompanion.com/course, excuse me, and that will take you to the page where you can purchase the course. The course is normally $997. However, we have a special and a sale going on right now where you can get it for only $497. So that's $500 off. And before you think that's a lot of money, just so you have an idea, since 2015, when I started offering these services, the fee that we charge our clients is $699. That's what we've always charged. We've never charged more. We've never charged less. So to help you with your student loans, Mrs. Jones, it's $699. You can break that up into 3 or 4 payments if you have to, but it's $699. And we have never had any issues with any clients complaining about, the fee being too high or not wanting to pay that, because their other alternative is being stuck with their loans in default with a higher monthly payment or unconsolidated. So the value for the $699 is definitely there, and the consumer sees it, right? So you can charge them whatever you want. Charge them more, charge them less. It's completely up to you. I'm just telling you what we charge our clients as a company has been $699. So if you were to charge the same exact fee that I've been charging for the last 5 years to my clients, your very first client would pay for the course and make you a profit already, because you're getting the course for $497 and you're charging that client $699. So, if you're looking to add this as an additional service to your company, or as a standalone service, if you want to offer that, this is definitely, I think, in my opinion, a great investment. I'm not saying that because I own the company and I want to make money. Listen, I made literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars from this program. I don't technically need to sell this. Whether you buy this program or not, it's not going to affect the way that I live my life. It's just going to maybe help you, bring an additional stream of income into your household.
And then you also offer outsourcing, right? So if
Yep.
so explain that, please.
Yeah. So if you purchase the course and you learn how to do it, you can choose to outsource the actual processing of the work to us for the student loan services. And and a lot of people are like, well, Bruce, why buy the course if I can just outsource it to you? Mm-hmm. Well, I don't talk to your clients. So if you don't buy the course, I don't know that you're telling the client the correct thing, right? You might be telling your client that their loans are going to be consolidated and they're going to have a $0 payment, when in reality, their loans are going to be consolidated, but they're going to have a $150 payment, right? So I'm only going to outsource to those who took my course because I know that they learned the information from me. So I know that what they're telling their clients is what they learned from me, right? So for that reason, I require that if you want to outsource the actual work to us, you have to take our course, because then I will be comfortable knowing that you learned how to pitch the services and how to give the consultations to your clients in a proper manner.
Right. And they're not going to know how to fill out the outsourcing form.
Yeah, they're going to look at it like, what is this? Like, what
yeah.
the hell is an FSA password? Like, if you don't take the course, you may not know, Why do you need my employer's address? Well, if you don't take the course, you won't know. So for those reasons, we require that you go through the course. Not just buy it, but go through it. And I have access to seeing if you went through it or not. I can go into my Teachable account and see that you only took 12% of the entire course. I'm like, you got to finish the course before you can process clients over to us.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you are a great source of information, and I am so glad that you made the time to be my interviewee today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. I mean, I thought it's a dream come true that you actually had time. I'm serious, because I'm like, I watch all the stuff in your course. I've seen your interviews, and you are just a plethora of information. And I've had so many people asking me, like, who did you take the course from? How can I outsource? How can I add this to my credit repair business? I think this is a great addition to add to your credit repair business, because it's a bigger income that you're going to get from that client too. I mean, you can fix their credit and then also help them with the student loans that they have as well. So thank you so much, Bruce, for taking the time to—
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you had the time to talk to me, because you're a very busy man. It's hard to get to you through Facebook, that's for sure.
I'm so sorry that it's so difficult. I try to be better, but I just can't.
No, you're very busy. You're busy counting that money and everything, but
oh no, busy helping people. To me, that's more important.
Yes, of course. So thank you so much for being my interviewee and giving us so much information. I'm so glad you joined me. And now they know where to go to get the course. And if they need to outsource, they know where to go as well. And that, when did you come out with this book? Because this is a great book too, if they need to read about credit repair.
That book, I believe, was like 2017 or 2018. I'm due for another one, huh? I got to write another book.
You put on student loan services, right? I mean,
Yeah.
got a lot.
Yeah, you can get it on Amazon. It's Understanding Credit Repair and the World Around It.
Yes, so this is a great book to read as well about credit repair. So thank you so much. I'm going to say good night to everybody.
Right.
Thank you for joining us. And whenever I need help with student loan services, I know I need to reach out to Bruce. Just message him, and hopefully he gets back to me. I'm so busy.
I always get back to people. It just may take me a little bit. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
I know. Okay.
Thank you for having me, Andrea. You guys
Yes,
have a good
thank you
night.
so much, Bruce. I'm going to stop the recording now.